So let's close our eyes and we'll join with gentle and chanting to just accord in the harmonium. So we'll start with the sound of so with the mouth closed. Wherever you are, you can make this sound with me, this nod. And we'll chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. All together. Om Namah So it's believed that in the sound exist the divine. So as you chant, imagine that you are chanting and having a conversation with the divine, that you and the divine in that moment are connected. So all together. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Last one. Om Namah Shivaya. Bhadram karenebihi shrunuyama devaha. Bhadram pashyemakshabiryajatraha Sthirairangaye Suštuvagam sastanobihi Yashema devahitayadayuhu Swasti na indro brittasya vaha Swasti na pusha vishwavedaha Swasti nastariksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspati dadhatu. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om
So here we are, together, in isolation, together, thank you. And with working batteries, or rather with new batteries. It's a perfect metaphor actually, because what I was going to say is, as we're here, connected, but in our individual lockdowns, individual separations, each of us has to ask ourselves, certainly once a day, but I would suggest even more, how am I doing? We've got a lot of time on our hands now. Without the external world pulling at us to go here, show up there, meet over here, be here. There's a lot of time. And yes, of course, a lot of us have days that are just as full, but full in different ways. But as we are kept externally from venturing out, it's even more important, especially as the energy of anxiety and stress and concern is just bubbling around us, to ask ourselves as frequently as we can, but certainly once a day, how am I doing? Am I fully present in this experience? Am I fully present in myself with every moment? Or am I just kind of buying time until this whole thing is over and I'll just watch Netflix until it's over? Because there's a couple of different ways to go about this, just as there's a couple of different ways to go about life. This isn't separate from life, it's just a whole new experience, but it operates on the same principles. Am I in this time of newness, of change, of concern, of all sorts of brand new navigation? What does it look like if I can't go to the store? What does it look like if I can't meet my friends? What does it look like to work from home? What does it look like to be worried? What does it look like to live with the possibility that a massive percentage of people on planet Earth today could die by the end of the year? How am I in that moment? How am I in that experience? Present with it? Aware? Without getting lost in the drama? So that's one way. That's what we're aiming for. Full presence, full consciousness, full awareness, full allowing of whatever it is that the present moment is full of. Allowing, creating space. Ah, yes, some anxiety. Ah, yes, some fear. Ah, yes, some boredom. But maintaining the identification, not with the fear or the anxiety or the boredom, but with the one who is aware that there is anxiety. With the one who is aware that there is fear. With the one who is aware that there's boredom. And then even with a deeper level awareness that is aware of awareness. So that's what we are invited into. So we'll call that door number 1, option 1. But then of course, for many, it becomes all about drama. The drama of my anxiety, the drama of my fear. And the dilemma with that is that drama has never helped anxiety or helped fear. So you never actually are less afraid. We don't prevent the things that we are anxious about from happening just because I get wrapped up in a drama about it. And the dilemma is we don't actually end up moving through it. Then I just get stuck in the drama, the story. The games of the mind. And that's another way for us to go. But just like in all the other days and weeks and months and years of our lives, to get wrapped up in the drama of, oh my God, my anxiety, or oh my God, my fear, or oh my God, I could die, or oh my God, how am I going to get groceries? Oh my God. It's just a way of staying in the ego. Staying in the mind that loves drama. And not actually dropping into the presence of the moment. Because if I'm playing a role, if I'm engaged in a drama, in my costume, with my script, with my story, I'm not actually in the truth of the moment. So that's not the ideal. But of course, if that's what you've been doing, no problem. Just bring awareness to that. Just bring awareness to me as the one creating the drama. And then identify, sit within the awareness of the one creating the drama, rather than identifying in the drama itself. And that'll not only help you use this time to really really go deep, really develop a whole new way of being. Not just in fear and anxiety, but in life. It'll lay a whole new way for you to live. And then the third way, of course, is just the denial, that I'm just going to binge watch my favorite shows, serials after serials. And again, it's just another way of getting through it. Nothing inherently wrong with it. It's not hurting someone. The dilemma is that the universe has given us this time. No one we know has ever had a lockdown like this. It's very rare. And yeah, we're at a really precarious time. And it's important to also be aware of that. This is not a 3-week, 4-week just holiday. This is a very, very precarious time. And an opportunity for each of us on that edge to stay present with it, to stay present with the inner fear, to stay present with that anxiety, to stay present with that stress without getting lost in the drama and without pushing it away. And to realize that actually, I'm not stressed all the time. There's all sorts of other things that also are coming up, and to just be present, just be aware. And to really keep checking in with myself. How am I using this time? Am I going deeper? Or am I just waiting it out? And that's up to each of us. But ask yourself where you want to be 3 weeks, 6 months from now, other than alive, of course. That's the given. We all want to be alive. We want to be healthy. We want our families to be alive, our families to be healthy. But beyond that, where do you want to be internally? Because we now have the time to make that happen. When we're up early, out of the house, out for 10, 12 hours, bringing home the bread, working, not having time, it's different. Now in our caves, we have the time. And we have a situation that has been handed to us so brilliantly to push us into the throes of anxiety, of stress, of separation, literal, physical separation. But with this extraordinary opportunity to spend the time dropping into truth, into oneness, stepping up into awakening, using this time to plan, to do all of the beautiful things that we've been wanting to do and haven't had time, the projects that benefit others, the spiritual practice, the places those overlap, all of that. Use this time. Stay home, stay healthy, and use the time. So I know we have a lot of questions coming in from our online audience, and we'll start with them.
So we'll start with a question from Tarisha Singh on the Facebook chat. She says, "Dear Sadhviji, I have seen divine grace in my life many times. Every time I face a hard time, I remember this and am grateful for this. But I always wonder if I will see this divine grace in the situation I am facing. I don't want to appear arrogant. How do I keep my faith without being arrogant?"
So faith, is faith in the divine according to the divine's will. It's not faith in the divine so long as the divine does what I want. Faith in the divine as long as I get what I want, when I want it, how I want it. Faith means faith. And so the dilemma that a lot of us may be facing right now is, hey, wait, this isn't my vision of God. This isn't my vision of the divine. This isn't supposed to be happening. How can God be good if what I want to be happening, if what we all want to be happening, isn't happening? And that's where it's so important for us to realize that that divine, I'm connected to, that divine grace I have faith in, is intelligent. It's the same intelligence that runs this universe, that runs it so beautifully. The same intelligence that teaches a caterpillar how to become a butterfly, that teaches baby birds how to break out of their shell and then how to fly, that teaches mama birds how to build a nest, that teaches all of nature how to do everything that nature can do without ever being taught. There's no classes, there's no school, there's no training manual for becoming a butterfly, building a nest, bringing home a worm and feeding it to your baby from your mouth to its mouth. Like, where do they learn that? Do they really remember it from when they were babies? Oh yeah, my mom fed me from her mouth. There's an intelligence in the universe. And it is there for all of us. And faith is a faith in that intelligence in the universe. Faith is faith in the divine. Thy will be done. It's not about, as long as I get what I want, as long as you keep doing the things that I think are good, then I have faith. That's where it shifts into arrogance. That's where it shifts into, well, you know, if I were in charge, here's how I would do it. And I'll keep having faith as long as you do it my way. So that's more of kind of a contract basis than actually faith in God. You know, I always say the universe isn't a vending machine. With a vending machine, you walk up and you stick money in and you push a button and whatever you want comes out. And if you're 400 pounds and your teeth are rotten and you've got diabetes and you push the button for potato chips or chocolate bar, it's going to come. The machine doesn't care that you're 400 pounds overweight, that your teeth are rotten, that you're diabetic. But in life, we push that button for chocolate bar and we get, a bag of celery. And first time we think, the machine is broken, and we put in our money again and we push the button again and now we get a bag of carrots. And then we kick the machine. We think the machine is broken. I've got the wrong machine. This is where we lose faith. Maybe I've got the wrong religion. Maybe I've got the wrong guru. I'm chanting the wrong mantra. I'm going to the wrong temple or church or synagogue. Or we give up faith altogether. But God isn't a vending machine. It's not about what I want. It's about thy will be done. And faith is, I have faith in you, God. And even though I don't understand this one, even though I don't like this one, I am aware that if I could just take enough steps back and see the full tapestry of what this looks like, that I would understand and go, yeah, now I get it. Up close, it looks really bad. Really bad. But faith says, oh God, I am aware that if I have the ability to see this full tapestry, not just today's intersection of time and space, but the full tapestry, I will understand why this is not only necessary, but good. I will understand why this is not only necessary, but good, and why it is the direct result of all of the karmic threads that have woven into this moment. Because God's not sitting up there with a magic wand going, I know epidemic, I know hunger, I know wealth, I know poverty. We are weaving our karmic threads. And it's not about good or bad or rewards or punishment. It's about the seeds we plant. And we've planted seeds of separation from each other, from Mother Earth. We've planted seeds of warped views of development, warped priorities, warped values and ethics, warped ways that we spend our money, personal money, government's money, for too long. And today what we're seeing is the repercussion of that. If you jump off a roof and you fall to the ground and go splat, you don't lose faith in God because you went splat when you walked off a building. You realize, oh yeah, there's God, but there's also this thing called the law of gravity. And it pulls everyone down should you walk off the building. And so while we have faith in God, we recognize that we also have to use our own intelligence not to walk off the building, because if we do, there's this law of gravity. So in the same way, when things like this happen, that hurt so much, it's not about, oh God, why did you do this? It's a question to us of, oh us, when we knew that there were these laws of karma, these laws of ripple impact, these laws of connection, these laws of environmental destruction, these laws that we've known exist. Why did we keep weaving the threads of our own destruction? When we knew that we were simultaneously building and creating these laws. We've got God's laws, the universe's laws, gravity, karma, ripple impact, the law of oneness. But we were all living in this false vision that we thought was a truth of separation. We were living in this falsehood, this image of invulnerability. The universe is just setting us straight. The divine is just abiding by the divine laws. So don't lose faith in God. But recognize that the divine will doesn't always do what I want. Not my vending machine, not my magic wand. And that the very best way I can ensure that that which I want to happen happens is to recognize the intelligence of the universe, recognize the laws created by the divine in this very tangible world and live accordingly. Pujya Swamiji always says, follow the rules and enjoy your stay. And this is really a wake-up call for us in this. But it's not about faith. Don't lose faith. Faith is essential right now. But we let go, as you said so rightly in the question, of the arrogance that makes us think that we somehow, we know best, or that we have the right to have whatever we want happen regardless of what we've done. This is just the most natural consequence of the choices we've made. Now we pray, oh God, let us make different choices. At least let us wake up in this moment and live differently. And have faith. Have faith in the laws that God has given us. Have faith in the truths that we've been given by our scriptures, by our gurus, by our sages and saints that have told us. We are one. We are connected. What you do ripples out on the world. You are not living in a vacuum. There's no place you end and the world begins. The creation is sacred. The water, the air, the soil, all the species, our fellow brothers and sisters, sacred. Serve them, preserve them, take care of them. And let us re-pledge to live according to these laws of Dharma, so that we can stop suffering these horrendously painful repercussions.
The next question was posted on the YouTube channel yesterday. Swarnendu Saha asks, will spiritual seekers keep taking birth in the future as well? Or with Kali Yuga, will it decrease?
Or will Kali Yuga?
Will it decrease?
Will Kali Yuga decrease?
Will
spiritual seekers, I understand, okay. So will fewer spiritual seekers take birth in Kali Yuga? So Kali Yuga is literally the age of darkness. In the system of time, of eras, in the Vedic tradition, we are currently in the era of darkness, Kali Yuga. It's not that there will be fewer spiritual seekers. It's that each of us individually will be pulled more and more toward darkness. And so this is why in the great compassion, actually, of God, we've been given lots of, in golf they call them handicaps, in this yuga. So there's different actually karmic laws that apply in Kali Yuga than in other yugas, because the universe knew that we were going to be at a severe disadvantage, that our minds were going to be more and more filled with ignorance, more and more filled with darkness. And so we got these kind of handicaps. So for example, in Kali Yuga, if you have a good thought, a good intention, I want to feed the homeless, and you really, really think about it, but for whatever reason you don't actually manage to make that leap into actually making the sandwiches that you take out to feed them, you still get the punya, the merit, the sweet karmic fruits for having had those thoughts, even if they don't bear fruit. And conversely, if you have negative thoughts, God, I'd like to hit that person, but you don't. You don't hit them with your hands, you don't hit them with your words, you don't hit them with your eyes and your look, you don't do anything. You just have the thought, but you don't act on it in any way. You don't get the negative repercussions, so you don't accrue bitter karmic fruit, or what we would call bad karma, for a negative thought that isn't acted on. While you do get what we would call good karma for positive thoughts not acted on. So there's lots of these types of sort of divine handicaps that we got in Kali Yuga, because the universe knew these people are going to be in serious trouble. Their minds are going to wander all over. So we were given that. But as far as spiritual seekers, what matters more than the number of those who take birth as a spiritual seeker, for us individually, is the power of each of our spiritual intention, and how collectively, however many of us there are, whether it's 10, 100, 100,000, 10 million, 100 million, however many we may be. Don't worry about the numbers. Worry about how much you, in your energy, are putting into that spiritual intention. And yeah, each of us individually may have a little bit more responsibility to keep holding up the rest than perhaps in other yugas. But along with that, we've got a lot of divine assistance. So each of us individually who is a spiritual seeker, don't worry who is and who isn't. Know that you are. And as a spiritual seeker, each of us has the power to change the energetic vibrations within ourselves and around us. And the more of us we can get together, the more we can come together, the more together, collectively, we actually can change the energetic field that we live in. So don't waste your time counting how many there are. Is it more than before, less than before? It doesn't matter. It is whatever it is. What matters is, how can all of us, however many we may be, unite? Unite in an intention. Unite in attention. Unite collectively. And how can each of us individually and then collectively choose again and again and again and again to be part of the solution, to recognize, yes, Kali Yuga is yanking at me. Yes, pulls of greed, of lust, of anger, of darkness, of ignorance, of separation are pulling at me. And I'm a being of light. I'm a being of love. I'm not the pulls of the ego. I'm not the pulls of darkness. I'm a being of light. And that light dispels the darkness. Doesn't matter how much darkness there is. As long as there's light, the darkness is over. And so rather than worrying about how many of us there may be, let each of us focus on, how big is my flame? How big is my flame? And how many others can I light? Because then together, we really can change that field. We can bring light to the darkness. And you know what? In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna told us, whenever there is darkness that is winning out over light, whenever adharma, unrighteousness, is winning out over righteousness, I incarnate in form to restore the light to the darkness. And he also told us in the Gita, as well as in so many other scriptures in so many different ways, that every being on earth is divine. That God resides within all of us. So when you take those two teachings together, what it teaches us is every one of us is God in human form, right here, right now, to restore that light to the darkness, to restore that dharma to the adharma. We just need to recognize it and do it. So don't worry who else is doing it. Realize God is here, incarnated as me, to bring light. Am I doing it? Am I a being of light? Let that be my concern. Let me be that being of light. And then automatically, whatever the darkness is, that light will dispel it.
So for our next question, we'll take another one from tonight's live chat on Facebook. Rahul Jain asks, in Hinduism, it's said that our soul and Supreme Brahman is the same. Then why don't I have all powers of the Supreme Brahman?
So, each of us is divine. Each of us is God, or the Supreme Brahman, as the question asked. Why don't I have all those powers? Well, the easiest way to think about it is think about the drop and the ocean. The drop at the core is ocean. Look at it under a microscope, it's ocean. And it can't drown someone. And you can't surf on it. And it can't sustain the amount of life that the ocean can sustain. A drop can sustain its own life, but not as much as the ocean. And so when we say each of us is God, that doesn't mean that I have the power to create the universe. I in my individual self, I in my dropness, in my drop identity. I don't even have the power to digest my own food. Like if my stomach and my intestines stopped working, I would have no idea what to do. None of us would. There, but for the grace of God, our food gets digested. We wake up in the morning. We keep breathing even though we forget to be aware of our breath. So we actually have very little power when we are identified as the individual self. The power comes when we first recognize that at the core of who I am is divinity. Now that's the drop being aware that it is ocean. That changes how I think, because then instead of thinking about myself as bones and muscles and skin and the color of my skin and the size of my waist and the beautifulness or lack of beautifulness that I think this physical being has. Instead of thinking about myself as that, the size and the shape of the drop, I realize, oh wait, I'm divine. I have bones and muscles and skin and organs and limbs, but I'm not them. I'm divine. But that doesn't translate into I am all of the divine. I am the entire ocean. No, I am one with the ocean. The highest state for the drop is when it merges with the ocean. The drop becomes all-powerful when it stops being a drop and it merges with the ocean. We become all-powerful, not simply by sitting over here in our dropness, knowing, oh yeah, I'm God, but when we actually, experientially merge into the experience of oneness with the divine. And that doesn't, by the way, then still give me logistic powers to suddenly, run the weather or grow trees or cause earthquakes or cause the rain or stop the rain or whatever it may be. It doesn't give me that power any more than when the drop merges with the ocean as that individual tiny piece of water. You still couldn't surf on it. It only is powerful as part of the whole. So when I realize I am one with all, when we chant so hum, I am that, it doesn't mean I'm all of that which ceases to exist in all its other locations and now only exists exclusively in me. And therefore I have somehow all of that power because I have co-opted it into me. No. It's an awareness. I am one with the Supreme Reality. I am one with the Creator and the creation. Not I single-handedly over here as my separate self am the Creator and the creation. So when you identify as the Supreme Brahman, then you have all the power. When you identify as yourself, then you only have the power of this body. But when you identify as the Supreme Brahman, then the power that you have is not the power of these hands and these legs. It's the power of the infinite reality. So it has to do, the questioner is kind of mixing up, overlapping two different identities. So I, as this separate identity, don't have all the power of the Supreme Reality. I only have that power when I stop being a separate identity and start being simply one with, one as the Supreme. So it's not my power. It's the power of God. Have a beautiful, beautiful morning, day, night, evening, wherever you may be, whatever part of the world you're in. Have it a beautiful one. Have it be grounded. Have it be anchored. Have it be present. Have it be connected. We're in this for the long haul. Let's realize that and allow ourselves to drop into a whole new way of being that not only is going to protect our physical bodies and the physical bodies of our families and communities in this crisis, but is actually giving us really the cocoon in which each of us individually and all of us collectively as humanity have the power to truly be transformed into an entirely new way of being. Let it start.